Hey everybody. Let me get rid of my gum. Oh, it's tea time and I have no tea. Well, I have some tea, but I don't have any decaf tea. So, hey Karen. So I can't drink any tea that I have right now because it's not decaf. So that's all right. So I'm really, hey Ann, how are you? Whew, this light shining on my hair is showing all my whirly birds. So I'm gonna just give this a second. I'm glad to hear that. I miss seeing you. We need to have some coffee sometime or tea and catch up. So it's, what is it, about 7:01? I have a lot that I'm going to cover tonight. So I'm just going to let you all know that if you get tired of hearing me babbling on, you are more than welcome to come back and watch this later. But I wanted to do tonight's tea time on the power of self-love. And I wanted to be extremely transparent with all of you. So I kind of debated about doing this particular topic because it's difficult to be transparent and to be real and to put yourself out there and be an open book. But I also feel that it's important for people that I have coached in the past, for people that if I've worked with you or if I have helped you on your weight loss journey, and if you are personally struggling or if you have hit a complete roadblock, I think that it's important as a coach for me to be extremely transparent with you on my own personal life. And so for what it's worth, I want to go through some stuff with you guys tonight on this tea time. That's very, putting me in a very vulnerable, transparent state, but I want to be completely honest with you just about how life has been for Kelly Bonomo over the last year and a half, but really 2018 up until the end of the year. So the purpose of this topic is A, to show my humanness as a coach. B, to also help you that if you are in a place of self-doubt, self-loathing, self-pity, discouragement, anxiety, despair, and you are stuck in a place that you just don't know how to get out of it, I'm hoping that in tonight's tea time that I'm going to shed a little light into your life and maybe give you some things that I've been doing for the last 6.5 weeks, the last 7 weeks, that have completely been pivotal and life-changing for me, more than ever. So the purpose of tea time is free coaching, okay? So it's the opportunity for you to literally ask anything, nutrition, health, fitness, life-related, to plug those questions in, and I'm going to do a Q&A after I go through my topic tonight. And I want to be able to just speak into your life and help you if you're struggling. So if you have a pen and paper handy, you're going to probably want to jot down some of these things. But a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share with you is things that I have learned through listening to different coaches myself, listening to different mentors myself, because as a coach, I don't necessarily have somebody that coaches me. So I have plugged into a variety of different people over the course of the last about 7 weeks that have helped me make pivotal changes in the power of self-love and working on myself. So I had this, so I'm going to just dive in. If you have questions, if you like what you're hearing, give me a heart, give me a like. I'm actually swiping all comments over because I get distracted and then it's like my ADD kicks in and I forget my train of thought. So I'm going to get through all of the guts of this coaching tonight. Could be probably about a half hour. We might go over a little bit more because sometimes I start babbling and look out. So if you have comments, questions, concerns, things, areas that you're struggling in, plug those in the comments. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go through all of them and respond to every one of you. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is I have heard people say, a matter of fact, my husband and I had this conversation today. How can you love anyone or anything else when you don't love yourself? And I've heard this not just from him, but just, in order to be happy with the things around you, you have to be happy with yourself, right? And we had this conversation today, and I told him that I disagreed because I was finding myself through most of 2018 in a very dark place, especially October, November, December, the last quarter of the year. And I'll get more into that in a second, just so you kind of get an idea with where I was personally and where I am now. But I told him that I disagreed because as a wife, as a mom, as a coach, as a business owner, the people that I surround myself with or that I have been working with, or obviously my children, my husband, I love dearly with all my heart. And I think that as human beings, we would do anything for the people that we love, right? Like you name it, if you need it, I'll do it for you. And the problem was I would do anything for anyone and I would help anyone, but I was at a point that I would do nothing to help myself, period. So, and I believe that in order for you to realize that you actually have no self-love, sometimes I think you have to hit the bottom of the barrel. And that was exactly where I was. I was at the bottom of the barrel. Just in December, not that long ago. So I want to be extremely honest tonight about where I was. Because I'm actually sometimes I'm still in a place where I'm still wondering how I got there. I was on a bodybuilding and, in a bodybuilding and figure competition just in 2016. And then the next thing I know, I'm 50 pounds heavier and my self-image, was just awful. In 2017, those of you that did not know this, I was in a horseback riding accident when I was on my trip with my sister, and landed on my left hip, which I've had issues with since 2013. What I didn't know was in that accident, I actually had a labral tear, which, unbeknownst to me, by October of 2018, had brought me significant amount of pain to a point where it was everything that I could do to get up in the morning, get dressed, and go to work and be a coach and be a trainer and help people. And then the next thing you know, I'm finding my way home and all I want to do is put my sweatpants on, drink a 6-pack of beer, and eat trail mix for dinner. It was that bad of a place. I'm embarrassed to say that, but yet today I'm not in that place anymore. I want to be completely honest. I have been teaching nutrition for over a decade. My whole family could probably teach you all about nutrition blindfolded. They could cook meals for you blindfolded. We all know about eating healthy, and we all know about making healthy decisions and living a healthy lifestyle. And then here I was finding myself in this place where I was ready to pull the plug on my business. I was ready to I wasn't suicidal, so I wasn't in a place where I wanted to die. I just didn't want to live my life. I wanted to lay on the couch and wallow in my self-pity because I was in physical pain every single day. It would happen the moment my feet touched the floor. So I want to be completely open with where I was because it happened like that. I literally was in a place where I was walking off a bodybuilding stage and walked into pound after pound after pound coming on a significant weight gain. And I'm being completely honest, 50 pounds up as of December 2018 from when I walked across stage October 2016. So in 2 years, significant chronic pain, and in a place not knowing even how to deal with that. And never in my life had I ever dealt with chronic pain. So now I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And I can see that now, that everything happens for a reason. But I think that the beginning of like the really bad downward spiral was in October. I'd had a cortisone injection, never had cortisone in my life. If you know anything about cortisone, which I do now, it is a steroid. So I would say 20 pounds of the 50 came on October, November, December. But I also had some side effects from the cortisone. I was having panic attacks. I was having horrible anxiety, depression, itchiness. I was at a point where I started researching because I just couldn't figure out what was going on with me. Like I just had no ambition to do anything. So which brings me to what changed. How come today Kelly is sitting here on a Facebook Live, being completely and utterly transparent with you guys and sharing with you where I was at 7 weeks ago, and what's changed in 7 weeks. I mean, how do you go from having chronic pain to not having chronic pain? And I think that a lot of it has to do with shifting my mindset. I think that I reached a place in December. As a matter of fact, I know that I reached a place in December because through my past, anytime that I have made myself get up in the morning to work out, or I had to get ready to be on a stage for a competition, or I had something that I was committed to and I signed on the dotted line and I registered for, I would continue to input in my mind coaching sessions and music and inspirational stuff and things that would help drive me to do better and to be better. So early December, I thought, you know what? I've got to do something. I'm absolutely like this is not good. This is not me. So I started kind of just on YouTube looking for anything that would inspire or motivate me to do different. And I will say it's by the grace of God that I came across Mel Robbins. If you've never heard of her, I would highly recommend that you look her up. And I've been following her, but I have, amongst her and a couple other, Lisa Nichols and a couple other people, and letting these people speak into my life and really sitting with a notebook, paper, and pen and jotting down things that spoke to me, that resonated with me, things began to change in my head. So, which brings me to tonight. So what I want to share with you guys is 6 things that have helped me learn to love myself again. So the first thing that I had to get serious about was my nutrition. I mean, anybody that knows what I do, and I mentioned this last tea time, that I believe that nutrition is the umbrella of our health. And I believe that with all my heart. I believe that. I believe that people come in our life for a reason. And when I met Mark McDonald, he completely changed the face of how I coach nutrition and how I feed my family nutritionally and how I balance nutrition in my own life. And creating that balance with blood sugar stabilization is pivotal. It's huge. And I knew all of that. But the problem was I kept putting off. I think I started Monday, I think every Monday from August until January 1st. And January 1st was actually the first day that I actually continued to sustain keeping my nutrition good, because the second that I started not physically feeling good, I would throw it all, like, I don't feel like doing it today. So I had to get my nutrition on. This was the very first thing that I knew that I had to get serious about. The more that I kept putting it off, the higher the inflammation was in my body and the more awful that I felt. And I knew physiologically if I got my nutrition on point and I was feeding my body the right macros, protein, fat, carbs, and I was flushing water and I was watching the processed things that I was eating, that it was going to be very pivotal in how I physically felt. I knew it in my head, from the science on it and just from everything that I've taught. but I had to believe it in my heart that had to be the first thing that had to change. It had to be my nutrition. You know, the saying is when you put good in, you feel good, and when you put bad in, you feel bad. And I believe that the inflammation was so high in my body because I was eating like crap, and I was taking no vitamins or supplements. I wasn't doing any meal prep. I mean, it was nothing, like I said, it was nothing for me to come home and drink a 6-pack and have a bag of trail mix. Ibuprofen wouldn't touch the pain, but if I drank a 6-pack, then it helped relax my body and I could sleep. And obviously you do that over the course of time, what's gonna happen, not only are you gonna put weight on, but the inflammation is gonna be so high that it made the pain even worse. So it was turning into this domino effect. So the first thing that I had to do was I had to get serious about my nutrition, which meant meal prepping, having things ready, structurizing my meals throughout the day every 3 hours so I wasn't skipping meals, pushing that water to help flush my body and get excess bloat off. So I believe that was the first most important thing. The second thing that the second and the third thing that I want to really spend a little bit of time on with you guys, that was huge with helping me learning to love myself again, was my sleeping patterns. This was something that I actually learned from Mel Robbins, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I was like huge snooze person. And if you're a snooze button pusher, let me tell you that it is hurting you more than it's helping you. So number two, the first thing that I did after nutrition was I changed my bedtime. So I started really being very avid with setting my do not disturb on my iPhone. So after 8 o'clock, it gets plugged in. I put it on the other side of my room. It does not sit on the nightstand. I set my alarm for the next morning. But after 8 o'clock, no more phone, no more social media, no more work. And now I actually have gotten to the point where I try to make it more like 7 or 7:30, unless it's tea time. And then so I put the do not disturb on my phone, and I have unwind time, either a hot bath, or I read, or I take a hot shower. I say a little prayer and thank God for the blessings that he's given me through the day. I have a nighttime devotional that I do that I think that, you know, building your spiritual relationship is huge with learning to love yourself, because we have so many things in life to be thankful for that we completely and utterly take for granted. And then the third thing is lights off, no TV, no phone. And I am hitting the hay by 8:30. I changed my bedtime. I used to lay in bed, you know, at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I would scroll Facebook. I would, watch TV, and I wouldn't really turn the TV off or turn lights off and go to bed until, you know, sometimes it was 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. So I changed my bedtime, number 2. Number 3, then I changed my morning routine. Changing my morning routine and changing my bedtime, obviously they go together. And I plan to do a tea time maybe down the road more on this sleep stuff, because we don't realize that how much sleep completely and utterly deprives us when we're lacking. So my morning routine, what changed was I no longer slept with my phone next to the bed. It went across the room, plugged in on do not disturb. I set my alarm. So I'm going to time out a second because I want to teach you a little physiology on your sleep. So we sleep in 75 to 90 minute sleep cycles. And every time you complete a sleep cycle, your body actually goes through 4 stages of sleep and then REM sleep. So stage 1, stage 2 is light sleep. Stage 3, stage 4 is deep sleep. That's where your muscles do the recovery and repair from like your big workouts. And then REM sleep is rapid eye movement. That's also where we dream. But it's more importantly, it's where our brain replenishes and rejuvenates and rests. And if you're not getting enough REM sleep, it's going to completely play havoc on your health. So because we sleep in 90-minute sleep cycles, we don't realize that when the alarm goes off in the morning and we reach over and we hit the alarm, that we hit the snooze button, we're actually being awoke out of REM sleep. And then what happens is our brain thinks, oh, I'm going back to sleep. Oh, I'm going to start another cycle. So the brain thinks that it actually has the ability to go into another 90-minute sleep cycle. But the reality is your snooze button is actually, your alarm's going to go off in about another 9 to 15 minutes, right? So you fall back asleep and then the alarm goes off again, interrupting your REM sleep again. For me, I would set my alarm at 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, and then I would get up at 7. So I literally would snooze my alarm clock for 45 minutes. And then at 7 o'clock, when I would get up, I was just dragging, right? And then I was dragging all morning because I was so tired because I never got enough sleep, right? Well, the reason that you feel that way is because when you snooze, especially several times in the morning, you put your brain in a state called sleep inertia. And the problem with this is that your brain actually gets stuck in REM sleep when you snooze 2, 3, 4 times. And when you are in a state of sleep inertia, you feel groggy. Your body has not had the opportunity to complete a 90-minute sleep cycle, which it thought that it was going to get. And so it literally takes, physiologically, it takes your brain anywhere from 2 to 4 hours before you actually wake up. So that's why you're tired in the morning. What you need to do is set your alarm across the room like I'm doing. And what I actually find now is I will wake up before the alarm. And it's funny because my brain is like, I tell myself, oh, you don't have time to do another sleep cycle, so you might as well get up. And now I'm getting up at 5:15, 5:30. It's been a game changer for me. So I do not snooze button no more. So I follow what my body's telling me based on sleep cycle, and because I'm going to bed early, I'm getting up early. And I'm telling you, this is huge because when you feel rested, then you enjoy your mornings a little bit better, right? So another part of my morning routine is I put headphones on in the morning and I actually listen to some light meditation music. I do a gratitude journal. I made myself a promise that I would spend every single morning of 2019 writing 3 things that I am grateful for, because I was in such a bad place October, November, December, that it was so easy for me to dwell on all of the things that were going bad and everything that I was upset about, or I was sad about, or I was depressed about, all of this self-pity. And so I thought, this is crazy. I need to reflect on all of the blessings in my life and everything that I have to be thankful for, because then can I truly love myself and love my life when I'm looking at all of the blessings that I have rather than dwelling on what's not going right. So I do a gratitude journal every morning. I also do a devotional book. The one that I'm doing is Sarah Young. The title of it is called I wish I would have grabbed it here. I think it's called Jesus Calling. I love it. It has just a great write-up every day. Is something different. And then the last thing that I do in my morning routine is a 5-second journal, which pretty much just helps me organize my day. And I wrote this down. This particular journal helps me get my priorities done that I need to get done, my game plan ahead for the day. It has truly helped me go from overloaded to-do lists that never got done to making priorities and getting things done. So the 5-second journal is part of Mel Robbins' 5-second her 5-second rule book, which was a book that I think everybody on the planet needs to read, especially if you're struggling in your life. It talks about how our brain actually will go into protective mode within 5 seconds, and anything that we feel uncomfortable doing, we won't do unless we get up and move in 5 seconds. So the 5-second journal actually has, she has built this journal based on research on things that are basically triggers for us to get things done and to be very intentional with planning our day and getting things done. I used to be the person that would have a to-do list 20 miles deep, and I would keep adding to it, and then I would never get anything done. So through this journal, I actually pick 1 or 2 things, and I'm finding I'm getting more done. So gosh, that sounds like a lot in the morning, right? But it's not. Like, that morning routine literally takes me about 15 to 20 minutes. And I have all my stuff sitting at the kitchen counter, and that's the first thing that I do. Something else that I also do in the morning as part of my morning routine is I don't let the world in. This is huge. If you're one of those people that get up in the morning and the first thing you do is that you reach for your phone and you start scrolling social media, or you start checking email, or you start checking your Instagram or your Snapchat, immediately In your head, you are comparing your life to everybody else's life. And don't tell me that you don't do it, because we all do it. I got to a point where, especially when I wasn't in a good place, that like I would scroll social media and then I would start finding myself that like I was getting worse because everybody's happy life. And like, look at where I am, and I'm struggling, and I'm not good in a good place. And Facebook is really fake book, because I was telling my husband today, wouldn't it be great if everybody for one day just posted the actual reality of life, and not the formality that we want everybody to see, but the reality, right? I think that we probably wouldn't want to post anything then, right? There wouldn't be no news feeds. Okay, so the first three things. I changed my nutrition, I changed my bedtime routine, I changed my morning routine. All right, number 4, the fourth thing that I did was I started making myself exercise again. Okay, yes, with chronic pain, but I will tell you, because I changed my nutrition, what I was starting to notice is that my pain wasn't necessarily going away, but my pain has definitely subsided a little bit, because I have better control over the inflammation because of how I'm feeding my body now. So I always tell people that like, I'm normally one of these people that have to go somewhere to work out, because the hardest exercise is the 16 steps down to the basement to actually get to the equipment. But I made myself a promise, because I wrote it in my journal, right, that I'm going in for a total hip replacement March 7th. I posted some stuff today that I was up for my pre-op appointments and all of that. And so March 7th is, I'm getting a new wheel. I'm getting a total hip replacement. And so when I knew that that date was set, January 3rd, I thought I have got to make some physical changes as far as like when I come out of that surgery. So even though I was in pain, what I did, and this would be what I suggest to you, is if you're a person that you know you need to get some exercise in, I would tell you to do it for the mind game, not even for the physical game. Because for me, I was noticeably different in my head when I started becoming active. And it's because our brain releases endorphins and we start feeling better emotionally. So for myself, I made a promise, okay, I'm gonna just go down there and just do 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes came and went so fast and I came back upstairs after 10 minutes. So for the first week or two, I only did 10 minutes, and I only did it 2 or 3 days a week. Now I'm at a point where, when I go down there, I might do 30 or 45 or maybe even 60 minutes. So I'm able to do a little bit more. But the most important thing is, for me, is that I knew that I had to just take the first step, going down to the basement and just doing it, and only commit small incremental changes, because small incremental changes over time become big changes. Okay, number 5, I had to find the things that drive me. So I want you to think about, okay, when we talk about self-love, what is something that drives you? What is something that excites you? What is something that makes you love life even more? Sometimes it's really hard when you're in a place of anxiety and depression to find anything that excites you or that you love, because I think that at that time, the thing that excited me the most back in October, November, December was getting my sweatpants on and sitting on the couch. I was super excited that I was on my way home and I could just veg out, right? So, but this is different. What I want you to think about is, what do you love to do? What is something that you're passionate about? Passion is energy, and the energy that you feel when you're living your life, that's what I'm talking about. What energizes you? What is a driving force that you think about? And when you do that thing, you almost lose track of time. So for me, I love music. I love to play and sing and write. And I also love to write books, and I love to come up with content and be creative. And those things all literally got suppressed because I was so overwhelmed by where I was at in my head. So what I've noticed, and maybe what you've noticed, is there's been a lot more activity on Kelly Benalmo's Facebook page. And that's because there's this driving force now in my life that I'm feeling hopeful again. And then number 6, this kind of goes with number 5. I started setting small goals again. So my challenge for you is to start setting small goals. And it might be, okay, today I'm going to do some meal prep and I'm going to start eating better and making better choices. And that's where you start. You know, you can't chew the whole elephant in one day. Like, it takes small changes over a period of time to help you become better and to help you rediscover self-love. For me, I would be so overwhelmed with everything that I wanted to do that I wouldn't do anything. So when I started setting small goals again, I began to reset my mindset. Thank you, Mel Robbins. In every aspect of my life, in my health, in my personal life, in my business, and things that I have put off for so long. And then my dreams and my goals and even my aspirations and things that I wanted to do. Oh, I'll do them. Oh, I'll get to that later. But then who would have known that I would have found myself in a place of such personal defeat that all of that stuff literally got pushed by the wayside. So a couple other things here. I always consider myself a pretty an extremely ambitious person, and anybody knows me or that follows me knows I have a lot of irons in the pot and I have a lot of things going most of the time. But for me, I got to a place where procrastination was becoming like the umbrella. I was procrastinating on everything. And then I heard Mel Robbins talk about procrastination is actually the reason why we procrastinate is because whatever it is we're procrastinating on, it's because we're trying to avoid stress. We procrastinate because we're trying to avoid stress. So think about it. Any place in your life that you're procrastinating, it's because you're avoiding some kind of stress. And you know, as well as I know, that if you stop procrastinating and you just do it and get it done, the sense of relief and the sense of accomplishment is like, oh, I'm so happy that I did that, or I'm so happy that I got that done, right? So I had to nip that in the butt and stop procrastinating. I now build time into my day to write, to read, to learn, and I am personally working on 3 books that I am hoping that will be completed and published this year. I build this into my morning routine. So my morning routine actually it probably is about an hour to 2 hours depending on the day. But the thing is taking that time for myself and doing some self-work has helped me find self-love, because I'm no longer just giving, and everybody is taking, and then I have nothing left for me, but I'm making myself a priority first thing in the morning before I ever let the world in. So if you see, like, I post something in the morning on Facebook or I've done something on Instagram, I guarantee you I've probably been up for 2 or 3 hours, no matter what time it is. So that's the last thing that I want to share with you is I don't let the world in to my time in the morning until I have had adequate time for myself to focus on the things that I want to get done, maybe do a little bit of exercise, maybe some meditation, some journaling. And then when I'm ready to let the world in, then I unleash, open up the floodgates, and we start answering emails, texts, and all of those things. But the reason why I don't do that is because, think about this, when you let the world in, we live in reactive mode. We're constantly reacting, right? We're happy, we're sad, we're glad, we're mad. And so the second that you let the world in the morning, you're reacting. Whether it's good or bad, you're reacting. You're reacting to emails. You're reacting to social media. Oh, I like, I love, I don't like, haha, whatever. Things that anger you. You are living in reactive mode when you let the world in. So to enlighten you a little bit, I would challenge you to don't let the world in until you've had some time of self-reflection and some self-love time. So a couple other things that I want to hit like bullet points here, and then I want to go into any questions. So if you have questions on nutrition, health, fitness, any of that, plug them in here. But I want to let you know this one last thing. You will never, ever, ever feel like doing the things that you need to do. Ever. I promise you're never going to feel like it. Nobody is coming to tell you to get off the couch. Nobody is coming to tell you to stop eating crap. Nobody is coming to tell you to go outside and go for a walk. Nobody's even going to come and tell you to get off the couch and go take a shower. You are the only person that has the ability to do that. And all of those things are the culmination of you empowering yourself to find self-love and know that you are worthy and you are great and you are beautiful and God has amazing plans for you. Just like I had to learn how to believe those things. And so I am telling you tonight that if you are struggling with self-love, if you are struggling with anxiety or depression or panic attacks or any of these things that I've talked about, utilize some of these things that I've done and start with small incremental changes over a period of time. Maybe start with your bedtime and your morning routine and build off of that. And then the last thing that I want to tell you is always making sure that you structure time for yourself before you ever let the world in. Because if you aren't allowing time for you, then how can you ever get to a place where you're beating whatever is distracting you, whatever is hurting you, whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're thinking on that might be negative thoughts. So always structure your time to put yourself first. Okay, so I'm going to run through here. If anybody's got any questions, I don't even know. I know this is kind of long. I don't even know what time it is, but thanks, Ann. Thanks, Ann. All right, cool. We're good. I guess we don't have any. Hey, Marie. Hey, Steph. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Steph. Marie. Thanks for the sleep info, Lindsay. I'm a snooze button girl. Just getting back to meal prep, fell off the wagon a bit, but getting back on. Lots of goal setting happening over here. You bet. Thank you so much for that. Lindsay, rock it. You know exactly what to do, girl. Listen, I always like this saying, be powerful in you. So, your energy goes where your focus flows. So think about that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. If you missed it, you can catch the replay here, or you can always go to my YouTube channel, Kelly Bonomo, to watch this. If you have any questions, if you're struggling, if you're looking for coaching, if you need help, if you just need somebody to talk to, I mean, I'm here for any of you. I love you guys. I so thank you for your support and plugging in and just being supportive. It means so much to me. So with that, tomorrow, I'm tearing up here. So tomorrow is 2 Minute Tuesday newsletter. If you have not subscribed to my Tuesday 2 Minute newsletter, go to kellybonomo.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage and you'll see sign up for my newsletter. It's a good one coming out tomorrow. It comes out every Tuesday morning. And then Wednesday, I will be back with Healthy Hump Day recipe this week, cooking right here in my kitchen and sharing some ideas for you. So God bless you all. Be safe. Have an amazing, amazing week. And I will see you next week on tea time. Not sure what day. It'll probably be Monday again, Monday or Tuesday. But God bless you all. And I love you. Mwah, and I thank you so much for watching. Till we meet again.